got me under pressure. It's got me on the pressure.
While I was camping out for college game day, I wasn't really doing any work at all. And that made me think of procrastination. And so that's what my speech is on today, and why you should definitely not procrastinate, because Sunday for me was terrible. So yeah, here we go. So procrastination. I found this funny picture actually in my head for no apparent reason, which I find kind of accurate. So first we're going to talk about what procrastination does to your body. And so just kind of in your opinion, like what would you think that, obviously procrastination leads obviously to a high level of stress. And you got any things of what stress does to your body? Kind of any ideas? Yeah, exactly. So, for just a few things, you get headaches and stuff like that, anxiety, you feel overwhelmed, you have to use stress relief substances, whether that be sugar, whatever you choose to do, and all this can ultimately lead to cardiovascular disease. And so procrastination is basically a self-inflicted version of doing this to yourself, and that makes you a clown. And so we're going to talk about, obviously, procrastination. You're kind of deteriorating your own body, and why that's important is because when you're stressed out, you have these sort of effects, and you're basically kind of hurting yourself and making yourself feel like crap when you really shouldn't. And you can plan ahead, and you can do it. And then, but people say there's a counter argument to that. Oh, I work better when I'm stressed. I feel like I work better. And to a certain degree, that's true. There is an optimal level of stress that you have to be productive. This is a graph, and it shows that in psychology that there is an optimum level of stress that you have to achieve to be at kind of your optimum level where you achieve the most amount of work. But when you get too much stress, that's when you overload, and then actually that's when you start burning out. But stress doesn't only affect your your body as well. It affects how you are and your mood and everything like that. And so there was a study done, and they looked at teachers who procrastinate. So in doing their work and grading papers and stuff like that. And what they noticed that the children, when their teachers procrastinated on grading and everything like that, that their students noticed that the teachers were in a visibly worse mood and that they weren't having a good time in class, and it really affected how they taught. So this is teachers, not professors. They looked at high schools, so don't worry about it. That's not your grade. And so this is a problem that not only affects us, students in college like that, but also professionals, people that work in the environment. When they procrastinate, it affects the work that they create and stuff like that. But now let's get back to it. So when people say, "Oh, I work better under sort of a pressured environment, I work better under pressure, so I feel like I'm good at procrastinating, do it the night before." But in reality, that's not you working better under pressure. That's you activating your fight or flight response. And I feel like we've heard that before. When to survive your fight or flight, so you become stressed. You keep building up stress by procrastinating. You say, I'll do it later. You keep building up more stress, and eventually you get to that point where your body's like, oh, either I do this now. So what happens is your body's starting to build up this sort of stress and anxiety over time, and you procrastinate. And when that happens, you start to activate that fight or flight response, and then which is obviously not a very good thing, because then you're activating your when you activate your fight or flight response, you shut down your your digestive system. You activate your sympathetic nervous system, which essentially is you're starting to pump adrenaline into your body, which makes your heart work faster, increases your heart rate. It contracts your blood vessels so that they get smaller and smaller, so that you can increase your heart rate, which is obviously not a good thing. And so if you start doing this over a long period of time, it can lead to sort of long-term negative effects. And this is the mood picture. You can feel kind of depressed. But then it can lead to sort of long-term effects of this stress and procrastination that leads to it. So you can get, this leads to obviously higher incidence of heart disease. You can get ulcers because you're shutting down your digestive system. So it's not working properly. You can get ulcers. You obviously get anxiety, irritability. You start not sleeping as well, start gaining weight. It's also has been linked that sort of cortisol, like the stress hormone, is also increases kind of later on in life. You're sort of, it's not exactly linked, but has been correlated to a high level of cancer. So they haven't necessarily found a like this link, but it has been shown that people who have had the high stress do cancer. And obviously, because of the cardiovascular effects, you can get heart attacks, you can get strokes, and you can start aging faster because you see it on your body. And so this presentation was just to show you that procrastination, even though you may feel like you work better under pressure and you sort of like that's the environment where you thrive in, for a long term, that's not healthy or sustainable, and that you should not procrastinate. So thank you.